This is, of course, High Noon Safety Meeting. My apologies for being, a full 13 minutes late today. But in the meantime, let me, in just a moment here, hand it off to D, who will tell you guys who can and cannot be here. Go for it, D. Take it away.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming and hanging out for the safety meeting. This show is for 21 and over. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get out. Back to you, Pheno.
Thank you, D. I'm running a little bit late with the clicky thingies, so I have to catch up here. But in the meantime, I guess I can still talk. It's not like we can't chew gum and walk and chew gum at the same time. Anyway, no one in the chat yet, so welcome, ladies and germs, whoever's going to be in the chat here in a moment. Make sure to say hello. If you guys did not know that there's a chat, sometimes people are still aware or unaware that there's a chat. You know, on YouTube, it's kind of funny. That's like one of the best parts of YouTube, and sometimes one of the worst, honestly. But still, we'll just say it's one of the best parts of YouTube is the chat community. Cheers to Jones and Two Grows first in the chat. If you have no idea that there's a chat, just scroll down, way down, way down. For some reason, YouTube always does it this way. If you've never actually used the chat before, they put it all the way down before all the suggested videos, and there's even more suggested, and then even more suggested videos, and then finally you do get to a bottom because you're like, oh, Futer's lying to me. There's never a bottom. No, there is a bottom to the scrolling, even on your phone, even on your computer. Then you finally get to the bottom, because I've had to do this whenever I've had to like re-log in or whatever. You get all the way to the bottom and you click chat, like open live chat, and then from then on, YouTube is like, oh, they're really interested in the chat, and always default to open chat. I don't know. That's how YouTube does it. Don't ask me. But in the meantime, that's how you can do it. Cheers, Poor Pizza Dave. I hear you have some fantastic weed up there in the Snow Cobra country. Welcome, Pip Jam MBF. I'm told also someone with Stone Cold Good Weed over in the land of the puddings, I guess we could call it. Welcome, everyone. Of course, the zombie is checking in the chat, one of the very few moderators. In fact, we have the two global moderators in the chat right there saying hello, both of them, Pip Jam and the zombie. Don't cross them or they will cross you out. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to hit live chat so that you can have a superior chatting experience, like we often say. Let me post a link here in a second so you guys can join us, because this is, of course, a conversational show. We like to converse, as you may have just guessed. We like to talk about all kinds of things. We like to talk about growing, gardening, consuming the freaking finest herbs and spices, obviously. We like to, from time to time, talk about edibles. We definitely like to talk about munchies and food and all kinds of stuff, ladies and germs. We
God,
definitely
no,
love to
not
talk
again.
about the finer things in life. What's that, D?
I'll just say, oh no, not munchies again.
Right? For the calorically challenged ladies and gentlemen, don't listen, because we might definitely talk about munchies from time to time. Ladies and germs, hop on though. I just posted the link. I should probably pin the link to, oh, again, without reloading the link for some reason, I cannot pin the link. So fucking annoying. Here, smashed. Let me now pin the link now that I reloaded it. Very frustrating, these idiotic UI disabilities, basically, that YouTube has. Anyway, ladies and germs, do tell your friends about the show, because that's really the only way that we will grow it. YouTube has this channel, and I'm sure many others, bottlenecked, basically. They don't algorithmically enhance us in any fucking way. In fact, they hold us down underwater, basically, like a kangaroo trying to drown a freaking furry animal. You know that happens, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Kangaroos, weirdly enough, they don't box as much as you think they do, but they drown animals way more than you think they do. It's kind of grim. Literally, like, kangaroos know that you can drown things in water, and they'll just like drown your dog, or they'll drown random like koalas and stuff. Whatever they run across that angers them, they'll just be like, fucking sleep with the fishes. Very creepy. Anyway, what was I talking about? That's how YouTube treats channels, I guess.
That's not
Don't be a kangaroo in distress. What's that, Smashed?
that's not as bad as like an orca. They'll fucking drag you down to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, but orcas pretty much eat the shit. Like, kangaroos don't end up. Kangaroos are herbivores, so they don't end up eating their prey. Like, basically, they murder something and then just basically because they're dicks. Like, orcas will actually eat the shark liver and shit.
True.
But orcas are kind of dicks though. Like, they will literally like what do you even call it? Like, somersault a seal out of the ground, like out of the water, like 100 feet up in the air, because they're so fucking just ridiculously strong. And the seal will basically like liquefy when it comes back down to the ground, and the orca just like slurps it up like an orca milkshake or something. That's kind
I
of a
got
dick
no
move. But at
seal.
least they're eating it. You know? What's that?
For a while at SeaWorld, the orca killed like 4 or 5 trainers, and what he would do is he would drag them down to the
Oh, well,
bottom.
that was, I mean, wasn't that the story of Black, which ironically I have not seen that movie yet. I kind of don't want it because I know it's super grim and super fucking sad. No, they were mistreating the ever loving fuck out of those fucking orcas, man.
You're
Like they
smart.
all had the collapsed fins and everything. That particular whale, or dolphin, I guess is what they are. But anyway, killer whale. He had like rubbed down teeth. He rubbed down the teeth on the cement walls of the pool, basically as a stress thing. And so he was rubbed down to the nerves and stuff. Like that whale was not literally not in his right mind. And you say, Funer, what are you talking about? Like, no, whales are smart as fuck. Like they're one of the smartest creatures in the world. They certainly have language. They almost certainly have a civilization that they passed on to each other. They have cultural trends. There was this weird cultural trend, like in the 80s or 90s or something. You can look this up if you think I'm making it up, where orcas, like a couple pods of orcas, wore dead salmon as hats. It sounds like I made that shit up. You're like, Fumidor, you're on fucking drugs. Well, I mean, kind of, but not really. I didn't make that part up. That's real. There was apparently it started with one pod of dolphins. They don't really, or not dolphins, orcas. They don't know exactly who started it in the pod, but anyway, it picked up as like a fashion because they have trends just like people do. And sure enough, before you know it, like up and down the fucking West Coast, these goddamn orcas were wearing dead salmon as hats as they're swimming through the water. So you're just like, there's a lot more going on in those fucking dead, killer whales than we had given them credit for. Anyway, um, dude, there's a lot of intel. We've learned this over and over again that there's a lot of intelligence in animals that we simply have not given them credit for. Like when I was a kid, school textbooks basically said that animals were instinct automatons. They're basically robots, and any behavior you saw could only be attributed to instinctual responses. So, for example, it's like a beaver, basically just instinctually building a dam whenever it hears water. Even a baby beaver, apparently, they'll build a dam. You know, even if it hasn't learned how to build a dam, it'll just start damming things. Well, okay, that's an instinct, fine. But that doesn't mean that that animal is a pure robotic instinct machine. Even beavers apparently are fairly intelligent, have, I don't know, probably complex emotional lives. I don't know how complex really, but emotional lives, we'll call it. Anyway.
Beavers are pretty smart. They build their dam and they make underwater passages, make it less hard, make it way harder for predators to come and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're a real. What do they call it? Oh gosh, not the word. The word is not linchpin. They are a watershed organism. No, I can't think of the word for it. Anyway, they're one of the most important organisms to build a healthy ecosystem. They've actually been airdropping for years now. They've been airdropping beavers in all kinds of different places because the beavers will go and literally dam up the water streams and stuff, and basically create a bunch of new fertile land, basically, or not even just fertile necessarily, but a new watersheds and fucking forests and everything else. I'm describing this poorly. My apologies. Cheers, my Digger. Good to see you. Long time no see. Saying cheers all. Hash bowl time. Good to see you, buddy. I love the show. Thank you, Digger. Good to see you, buddy. Hardcore's in the house. He said, "Is this a goddamn?" I mean, that's
Fucking
Beat me to it.
Crymore Grows in the house. What's going on, Crymore Grows? Amazing not to see you as first. I think we're all shocked here. We're like, gosh, Crymore
know
Grows
why.
must have been, I don't know, winning the lottery or something. Like that's very unusual. He doesn't win. Usually he's first in the chat, and then usually Miss
He's
Chronic's
busy
right
with-
behind him.
He's
Maybe he was
busy
busy with Miss Chronic.
Oh no, Mrs. Worms. He was
Oh,
sifting
well,
worm castings, I believe.
that's a pretty good excuse. That's a pretty good excuse.
Yeah.
You know what?
Chronic.
We would love to hear about it, Crymore Grows. I mean, not for nothing. Holy shit, this is a conversational show.
Well, come on.
By the way, again, ladies and germs, you are more than welcome. Am I talking over you, Smash? Go for it.
Oh, I just said Crymore might come on, but they don't want to show their faces. So I've had them on
Don't
my
show
show.
your face. Look what I'm doing. My incredible technology here. Look, this is the highest possible technology. I had it machined for me from the highest quality aircraft, aerospace titanium. Aluminum was not enough. Stainless steel was not enough. I said, no, it must be titanium. I want it to be anodized in the finest colors of the rainbow. I want it to cost as much as possible so that I can cover the camera. Actually, no, none of that is true. It's a piece of fucking blue tape that I literally cover the camera with, and then you set your background to whatever the balls you want. I have, of course, Fumidoro and chronictable.com, which please, ladies and gentlemen, go visit because obviously that would very much help with this show. We have a variety of strains and t-shirts and merch and everything that you should go take a look at. Please go take a look. Surf Grape is one that I would very much recommend. I've got one growing right now. It looks splendid. Black Knight's Delight is one that I'm super proud of. It looks like already I've only had a chance to grow a few. Looks like the what did I used to call it? Unfortunately, mom passed away in the whole fucking move. It was kind of a crappy story. But that my selected Black Prince Ruby, I guess I can say it now. I selected her out of 100 female Black Prince Rubies. So you can imagine she was a pretty good one. And unfortunately, I had two. I had basically, ironically, it's always like this. At least in my experience, it's always like this. The two winners are literally right next to each other, and so all I had to do at 50 at a time, basically, because who the fuck am I, right? I don't know, Rockefeller or something. Anyway, it'd be nice to do 1,000 at a time or some shit, right? Holy cow! Anyway, in literally even the same 30-gallon pot, actually, number 3 and number 1 basically were the two winners. Number 3 was the best of the best, and number 3 was right behind her. Number 3, the difference really between the two, structurally they were almost identical, visually they were almost identical, even in finish and everything else, in resistance, pest resistance, not pet resistance. Although I didn't have a lot of pest pressure back then, to be honest, because this is going on actually more than a year ago, I think now. Anyway, regardless of how long ago it was, I think I might have had spider mites. I don't quite remember right now. Anyway, what's that, D?
Someone I forget who it was, but when I was doing my live show earlier, they were saying they were doing the night. What'd you say the strain
Black
was?
Knight's Delight. I
Yeah,
used to call it.
right
I used to call it fucking "Thou shalt not pass" or some shit, or what did I call it? "None shall pass," and then I changed the name.
Yeah, someone's
Black
throwing that
Knight's
right
Delight.
now.
I think they'll like it. So basically, what I'm saying is, I'm telling a hugely long story. I realize now. The winner had a pronounced. Oh my gosh, a very multi-layered scent, aroma, and high. That's one of the things that I really liked about it. It was quite complex, and it had all the features basically of that Ruby Jack lineage, especially the Black Prince Ruby lineage that I really liked. It was more strawberry jam than strawberry candy. So originally, the first Ruby Jack number 7, I called her, was the progenitor of the whole Black Prince Ruby line. She was this pronounced strawberry candy flavor. So if you guys have ever had those, like somehow every grandma has these strawberry candies, and they're wrapped in that little like pink and green wrapper, like with the green strawberry cap, whatever. People usually love those, right? With the little soft insides. They seem to always taste about the same. It tasted like that candy. And even in the rosin, it tasted like that fucking candy with this amazing, blissful, like Cindy 99 similar high. It's amazing. So anyway, I bred the whole Black Prince Ruby line with that, and was hoping that I would pull out some rose elements and so on that I think I've told you guys about before with the other original Ruby Jacks that Stevie bred. Well, sure enough, the winner had basically a pine and little bit of earth and basically like a pine needle floor to the flavor, with a little bit of just a little bit of fuel, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. You could tell there was some Afghan in there. Basically, you could really tell it was essentially from the Thunderfuck, basically from great grandfather, great grandfather. At that point, you could have you felt a little bit of that fermentation, basically, and then a pronounced sweet, distinctly sweet strawberry jam that you could smell like across the room. So be like, what the fuck? It smells like strawberries. Literally, it would smell like strawberries across the room to people that don't smoke weed. Seriously, that's how you know that it actually smells like fucking strawberries. Because to most of us, we kind of get attuned to these flavors, and we smell things that most people don't smell in weed. Let's be perfectly frank with you. But when someone else smells strawberries, I think you got something. Anyway, I'm sounding like an asshole now. But anyway, I'm trying to describe one of my favorite strains that I've bred. What am I trying to say? That on the top of everything, basically, a distinct, an absolutely distinct, like laundry sheet rose, because I can't describe it any other way. Like basically laundry, or like dryer sheets, basically dryer sheets, but scented like rose. So rose scented dryer sheets, which was just so unique that I couldn't let it go. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for in the very beginning, but I mean, sometimes you know something when you find it, and that was it basically. So I had been looking for rose water, but I ended up basically finding rose dryer sheets. Anyway, unfortunately, I lost that Black Prince Ruby and her sister, so that's how fucked up the move was. But in the meantime, I have a good number of the seeds, so I'm running through some of them already. I was trying to run through some before I moved. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of those seeds. But in the meantime, I managed to save a couple, and I've popped a few more. And hopefully, maybe this summer, I'm going to do a whole hunt. So anyway, really proud of it so far, though, because the structure and everything on basically all of them is solid, and that laundry scent and basically the spiciness of the stem rub is already pronounced even before flower. So, real happy so far with the Black Knight's Delight. Stay tuned. A few people in the audience have grown them already, so stay tuned because there definitely are a few people who have already. I think already harvested. So hopefully we'll hear some smoke reports soon enough. I'm going to be smoking Pacifica Days, hopefully the next few days, that Mr. Scotto grew. So that's going to be some nice reports too. Anyway, I didn't really make an entire freaking commercial, but do check out Fumidoro, ladies and gentlemen. What was I trying to say before I lost track and got lost in commercialization? Freaking capitalism.
Coupon code?
I was talking about coupon code BRAINS, ladies and gentlemen. How's that pronounced?
Brains.
That's it. Pretty. Save yourself 14% off, ladies and germs. What were we talking about before that?
Killer whales.
Some kind of a rant.
Oh, yeah.
Killer whales about smart ass animals and blah blah blah. How did I get on the subject of Fumidoro.com? Well, anyway, that's this show, ladies and germs. We get high and talk and stuff.
Like having other people, like I got Crymore's growing. He's one of only like 5 people I gave the apple fritter to Chemo Cross to.
Oh, we were saying that Cranmore Gross should come on the show. I think is what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and Miss Chronic.
I think I'm gonna do. I've been saying this for a while.
Pick a
but
face.
I'm like 100%. I want to do a feminized run this summer.
Good idea. I hope to do two. I hope to do one. Do one too. I hate when people say that. I hope to do one as well soon enough. I have to go to California now. It's just a weird situation. Hopefully next week. It's gonna be unfortunately super fucking snowy this next like whole weekend. So we'll see if I can get down there because I'm probably gonna drive down there. I guess I could fly, but it's a lot easier if I drive down there. But anyway, what was I trying to say? I think I'm going to basically do a flower run before. I was going to do a breed real quick, basically, but I was like, you know what? Honestly, with the testing and everything else, I'm just going to honestly do a flower run first and then do a seed run right after that. It's a lot easier, especially since I'm not going to be here the whole time. Like, if I could be here the whole time, maybe I could coordinate both at the same time. But honestly, like, I can't do that with me not being here. What was the question, Smash?
I forgot.
Oh. Big is in the chat, cake in the cup, cake in a cup, not cake in the cup. Cake in a cup is in the chat. What's going on, buddy? What else is chat here?
I think I only have a little bit of seed that crossed. I took ChemDog. Oh shit! I just spilled my coffee.
Oh, you were talking about giving Cranmore Grows some seeds. That's what you're talking about. You're the only person or a cut or something.
He's one of the only ones that has the apple fritter crosses the chemo. But I also have some ChemDog cross chemo, Chem 91 Calio, and I think that's the one I want to feminize. I only got a little bit of seeds. I'm gonna end up popping like 20 of them and going through and finding the best one and then spraying it.
It's funny, as I was talking about the aromas and the flavors and stuff in cannabis when I got back from Israel. That was the longest break that I've had from weed for, I don't even know, 10 years maybe. Literally, I haven't had a tea break for more than like a day. Seriously, even one day, probably not a whole day, honestly, because at some point in that day, I probably smoked probably before bed or something. I don't think there's been one day, literally, for fucking 10 years that I haven't smoked weed. When I came back, suddenly weed tasted very, very different. And I was like, a friend picked me up in the airport and brought basically a joint, actually brought some weed so I could roll the joint. So I saw the jar. It was labeled fucking Morgana. It was one of my Morganas. It was one of my favorite sour Morganas that I had run through. I think the number 5 or the number 7. Doesn't matter right now because it's been a couple of months, frankly. But it was obviously my weed. Everything about it was my weed. Like I could see that I had grown it. It was obviously like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like it was faked or counterfeited or it was visibly obviously my shit, right? Like who's gonna fake an entire jar of my weed that looks exactly like my weed? But it smelled nothing like my flower. It smelled and tasted nothing like my weed. I was like, what in the absolute fuck is this? Because suddenly it tasted like Amsterdam weed. It tasted super like armpity, skunky. It tasted like bitter. Like it didn't taste all sweet and
Right.
sour and whatever else. I was like, fuck, this is what Romulan was talking about. Like, doesn't the weed just taste like weed? And I was like, what do you? I almost laughed, when he said that. I think I did laugh when he said that, but I was like, I kind of knew what he meant, but I kind of also didn't know what he meant until I took a tolerance break, and I was like, oh shit. Like
So a lot,
I don't know what it is. You get attuned to it or somehow something, because you
yeah.
hear the same thing from wine people. They're like, oh, do you discern notes of fucking vanilla peel or whatever? And everyone's like, maybe, And then the same thing I think for a lot of people with weed. And I think sometimes those aromas are distinct, like when my friend smelled strawberry across the room, or sometimes orange or whatever. But sometimes when we say, oh, notes of, like I always say, mountain flower. What the fuck is a mountain flower? Baba Kush. But somehow weed people are like, oh yeah, they nod their head. But like a non-weed person would probably be like, what in the shit are you talking about? Anyway, Captain 420, am I on base or off base? It's nighttime now. Look at that.
So
It's daytime here. It's nighttime there.
a lot of times,
It's nighttime here. I'm sorry. I'm kind of dazed and confused.
Go ahead, Smash.
so a lot of time, like I find we're the only ones that can get the blueberry smell unless it's super strong. If there's any subtle smells that we pick up, it's because we're so like nose numb to the actual smell of just cannabis in general that we start picking up the hints of chocolate and hints of berry. Because like I can have my mom smell any weed and she says it all smells the same, and she doesn't smoke at all.
I get that
And I've
from
heard
a
that from a
lot
lot of people. Go ahead, Captain.
of
You get that
your
from a lot of
weed
people, you said?
stinks.
So
I
one
got
day, oh, good.
I was gonna say I got this one strain, the Mr. Toad's one hitter quitter. That's so strong, you can tell, like how smelly it is. But then, like I can tell like the different like different smells out of it as well. But it just reeks, so you can smell it across the room if I open the bag. Over.
Yeah.
I forgot, dude. I keep losing shit. I'm so mad. Right now. Fucking, we got so much rain last night. My basement started to flood. It's not bad, but it's just a pain.
Kill one of those fuckers.
Oh, I need to have some co-hosts.
I think I'm gonna fucking rent a jackhammer and dig a hole, probably like 2 feet by 2 feet, like square,
Fine.
down probably like 3 feet, and then
Wow.
just fucking sub pump in it. It'd make it easy because all the water's in one spot. And the fucked up thing is, the water comes in on one side of my house, and the drain, like the floor drain, is on the complete other side. So when the water comes in, it tries to go towards the drain, one corner to another. So I want to, where the corner that it keeps leaking in, I want to just fucking put a sub pump right there, because all the water would be, as soon as it came in, it would fall in.
American style Chinese food. That's fucking funny. So in Vietnam, you have not Chinese food, but American style Chinese food.
It's kung fu.
So they probably have chow mein and General Tso and fucking mushu pork and what else? I don't even know.
Sweet and sour
orange
pork.
chicken and shit.
No,
Sweet
no,
and sour.
no.
Yeah, exactly. The neon
American
orange
style
sour
Chinese.
pork.
Let me fill you in. This is a really good Mexican restaurant, and above here, it's nothing but martial arts, Bruce Lee on the wall, all the kung fu comic books all on the wall. It's a really cool place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, American style Chinese food.
Yeah, it's because a lot of the food that Americanized when it came like.
Oh man, here we go with the food.
He was warning us.
Who cares? I love talking about food.
So you see all the people on the street. Could you believe when I rounded that corner, I almost got hit by a guy on a scooter driving on the sidewalk?
I believe it.
That's fucking
That
nuts.
that was nuts.
How's the elbow?
But I ran out of Pepsi last night, so
Well, wait, since we left you last night, did you partake in any of this nightlife where the women are chasing you down the street?
What?
I did some walking.
What did I miss?
You didn't run, right? You just slow walk. Let them catch up, right?
It was very, very slow.
Damn, I think I'm gonna have to go watch the rest of the
Look
last
at that. It looks
show.
like an American 7-Eleven or something. They got the same kind of sodas, the same kind of freaking. I mean, slightly different stock, but it's like it's super familiar.
Thank you, come again.
Those
There's a
weirdly small
different
cans. They had the
Coke
same
can.
thing in Israel. They like these weirdly. Is it the same volume? I actually always forgot to look. But anyway, these weirdly narrow cans. There's no way that's the same as a 12-ounce can. What? How many milliliters is that? Is it like 250 milliliters?
These are like 10.
There we go.
That's probably what it is. Like 10 ounces, maybe.
Are energy drinks super popular? Like a whole section of energy drinks?
These are the real ones.
Huh.
Yeah.
Real energy drinks. Yeah.
I don't do
It's
it.
amazing that sugar water, American sugar water, has made it just all around the world, and
I know it, right?
you know, they make
They
billions of
say
dollars
Coca-Cola
because
is
they're
the
just
most
everywhere.
ubiquitous product in the world.
Yeah, it's one of the most recognized, logos or
They're
cans.
literally fucking everywhere.
That color red.
Well, I mean, it's pure profit, right? I mean, what's in a soda as far as like the cost for them to manufacture it, like next to nothing.
And an energy drink's not just sugar water. There's a ton of fucking shit in it.
Yeah. Well, that's just Pepsi's the worst.
I've always been a Coca-Cola person.
Same
like
Do
here.
they use? Is it sugar or corn syrup?
It kind of adds truth to pick your poison,
It's all
you know?
corn syrup.
I don't
Corn
drink
syrup.
any of that anymore. I used to drink Pepsi.
In Vietnam, it may not be corn syrup. Don't forget, they don't have gigantic fields of corn like we do. They probably have sugar cane, actually, or something else. Maybe, fuck, what do they use for sugar over there? It's not soy. It's, I can't
Sugar
remember.
right out of a
Sugar beets, maybe.
Sugar beets, maybe.
No, I haven't really partake, but I know that their chip game is like on a level. Like, we only have like 4 or 5 flavors: sour cream, onion, and barbecue, and regular. Oh, they got
Oh,
they
they'll
got
have
like
squid
100
and
different.
shrimp and octopus and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff, right? Yeah.
Like they go crazy with the chips.
Sea urchins.
That's regional. I mean, we have more flavors. You just gotta know. Like you can, I don't know. There's a big market for exotic snacks, which is those crazy Lay's chips. It's those crazy fucking candies that come from Asia.
Well,
And
a couple.
These are
kids I've
free when
seen
you buy a 6-pack.
in New York. Some of the black market like cannabis stores are really disguised as like snack shops where they carry all the chips, drinks, all this, and then they sell weed on the side. Yeah.
So apparently in Canada here, well, we have gas stations called Circle K, and we have got Circle K stores as well. Anyhow,
Yeah, they are here too.
Yeah.
They have pizza. They make real, like, you can order like a full-size pizza at the place if you wanted to. And also now, since it's been legal here in Canada, the some of the Circle K's actually sell cannabis out of their stores.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They see a big contract in Florida for that too.
Yeah, I think Circle K's
They have a
big
Haagen-Dazs?
conglomerate that like bought licensing or positioned to start selling cannabis once the laws catch up. Like,
Holy
Circle K. I forget it's corporate. There's a but Circle K, that's my favorite gas station. And one that they sell my brand of cigarettes there. So I like Circle K.
Yeah, that's where I go to get my papers, and I got the pepperoni there. My pepperoni and shit. Everything else I need. And they got a Tim Hortons right in there too, in the store. So it works out good.
Man, that's nice looking, Bingus.
Oh,
Thanks, buddy. That's where I used to work. 2019.
Bingus's greenhouse here. Let's.
No,
I was
I
thinking it was
wish.
his backyard. Yeah.
No, it's a 50 by 100-foot greenhouse.
Oh shit!
oh wow.
We this is all one particular strain that we were feminizing, and but it's kind of just, there's my bald head, and it's just kind of breathtaking to see a sea of cannabis like this.
Can't even see any of it.
See a green
Yeah.
dog.
First living greenhouse.
There's some of the stuff we use for bug control, because they definitely had bugs. And we did that actually
part of life.
Yeah, it's,
I was like, oh, I don't have bugs. Yeah, bullshit.
If you're outdoors, it's going to be something to think about for sure.
Yeah, in an indoor laboratory, you can get away with it if you're just absolutely, meticulous. But outdoors, it's
Here's for everybody.
This is
included.
This is a pheno hunt that we did, which
Wait,
was
what?
probably the most extensive pheno hunt I've ever been involved in. But we were looking for specific types of.
How many plants in total?
80,000.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
Well, how big you guys got them?
No, we would, well, not very big.
Okay.
They would get thinned out real quickly. We had spectrometers. We had 2 of them, and we would take the clipping off the see the variegation there in that one. We were looking for that particular trait, to be honest. It had a tendency to raise the CBD levels, which in this particular strain is what we were looking for.
Right
These
on.
are all self.
Excuse me?
Are these all self from one plant?
Yes.
And
yeah,
so
they're
all slightly different, but yeah.
Yeah.
Big screen.
It's I think it was like the third, like an F3. All right, but again, to do a large one like this is how you that's how you get it narrowed down. I mean, you got to look at as many as possible to really narrow things down.
Well, I imagine at that scale, like even with all the procedures in place, it's still pretty easy for a winner to slip by, right?
Yeah.
Like
we would visual traits. All right, we'd have like several people looking for visual traits. Then we would tag them and take them to the spectrometer to see where their profile was. And then we'd narrow it down, and end up with the ones that you wanted to keep. But it's a lot of work. There's a weird one right there. See it? So you're never gonna. I mean, what, you're gonna run 10 seeds and find that one? Probably not. You see, you got to run a bunch. But I don't know. I'm not trying to hog your whole screen up here, buddy. But I wanted to.
Still interesting.
Yeah, that is 80,000 is the biggest search I've heard of.
It was
This
was the third time they did that. I wasn't along for the first 2 times, but when they feminized it, they did not test the results. In other words, the result of this hunt were not thoroughly tested, and there were some herm problems. and he ended up getting sued because he sold like $1 million worth of seeds to a guy that harmed a whole crop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I told him, that's when I quit, actually. When he said, I told him, don't sell these seeds, do a couple more runs and run them out. Well, he didn't have the property to run them out, according to him. I'm like, bullshit, you got a whole field here, you could run them out. He just didn't want to. He needed the money, and he got sued. And I quit. And
it's hard to turn down $1 million, and he just saw those dollar signs. How interesting.
And even like just as a company, what it would cost minimally to do that project, like the labor, the space, all of it included. That's you have to invest time, all that. I can see where you cut corners, and next thing you know, you're being sued.
Wait, see, he doesn't smoke weed. Okay, the ultimate guy that
classic.
ran the place, and he also took back pain medication. I'll let you kind of figure that one out. And so he wasn't really operating. I felt on a full 6-pack of additives. So, and he got, dude, he probably made money. And I think it was more of a, when you actually, Fumador, you kind of made me realize that the property was not a loss, you see. So he probably made money, and it's probably on to his next scam. I don't know.
That's it. Parasites can make money on all kinds of freaking parasitism. It's crazy.
That's
perfect. When you think negatively, you can find all kinds of freaking, anti-solutions or some shit. It's fucking nutty.
It's parasitical is exactly the term.
And even from people with excess amounts of money, they can lose money, and that's like good. Like that's part of what they showing a loss. It helps them in their taxes. It's not the same as like they just write it off as a loss against something else they want, so then they pay less taxes, shit like that. So
well, he told me because I started asking him, I'm kind of naturally a prior. I want to know what's going on here. What are you thinking? You own the place, right? And I could tell right away that he wasn't really committed, all right, to like years and years and years of doing this. And he told me, he called me by my real name, which is Rick. He said, Rick, I'll be honest with you. I just want to pump this up and sell it for 300 million.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. I go, that explains a lot. All right. And I go, how many other people know this? And he goes, nobody's really pinned me to that. You know what I mean? Like you just did. And I'm like, all right, well, cool. So I just said, all right, well, don't let me get in your way. But when it came down to me advising him on that, he goes, what do you think on this? Because the other two guys were saying, don't as well, right? The other two head growers. And I said, don't do it. And he just looked at me and like, okay. So in his head, he was thinking, all right, I can do this. Even if I do get sued, I'm going to make this much, right? And he just went for it, all right? Calculated risk. And I could probably go talk to him if I wanted to, but dude, I don't want to, when somebody does that, they have that type of mentality, you don't really want to, it's not somebody I want to work for. You know what I mean?
I'm the same thing. I call them in my lingo, those are called money grubbers. And try to stay away from them. I get it. And one thing in cannabis over the years, a lot of those people that didn't even smoke weed got involved with their big money to make more money. There's some stories of tremendous loss. A lot of people lost a lot of money playing it that way. But like I say, in the scheme of their big financial picture, that's no big deal. They just write it off as a loss and on to the next hustle they go.
Even in bankruptcy, man, you can go bankrupt and within a year have a premier credit rating, and you're right back in the game. You just have to take a class and pay $50 and da 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 da. I mean, they don't want you out of the game, which means the game we're playing is fixed right from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
If you want to play a fixed game, like the stock market or any of this shit, fiat currency, you're just playing with pieces of paper that really only have a perceived value. They're not, unless you hoard gold and silver, which I would suggest.
I know people that make a lot of money in cryptocurrency and stocks. And I said this the other day. I was like, dude, it's a full-time job. You literally got to be on when the market opens and you're on all day. That is a tough line of work. And you can see with like stocks and crypto, all the billionaires and millionaires are the ones really like investing in it because they have insider information.
Yeah.
Actually, to tell you the truth, it's gotten to the point now where you put in your sell price and you leave the computer, and when it hits that sell price, it sells. And then when you hit that low price again, it rebuys. So they have computer programs that make it actually really easy. And
and do that
right on. That's where I put all mine, gold and silver, mainly just silver.
And do that in milliseconds. And like, when you have enough money, a fractional little bit, like uptick, and they just keep doing it over and over and over. Once you have a certain amount of money, it's a no-brainer. It's just, there's no way to lose. Like, that's where he says it's rigged. Like, I don't know what level of wealth it takes, but a certain level of wealth, it just rolls. There's like, you can't fuck it up. It's just going to make money no matter what.
In the current system that we're in.
I think if you know how to hustle, that's the way that you do it anyways. You just keep taking that bankroll and bankrolling it into something. It may not be the same thing all the time, but you're constantly bankrolling it and building and building and building.
Yeah, even big investors make a ton of money off of currencies in the fractional. Oh, the bot went up a little bit. Boom, sell the bot, buy the dong, and international currencies when you have enough money makes money. There's a lot of easy ways to make money.
You could have made 3 bot on every dollar. Therefore, it only took like 60 days to make that big of a jump. It does it twice a year where the bot will drop to like 35, 36. This time it was 37.5 per bot per dollar. And it dropped clear down to 34.2. All of a sudden you just made 3.2 bot on every dollar. Well, every $10 you just made $1. That's 10%. That ain't too bad.
No, there's people that actually do that for a straight living, transfer money into different countries, and
Oh yeah. I sit here and I watch them in Bangkok doing their day trading, and like I said, they've got computer programs that, they've got 10, 15 different stocks up that have a sell price and a buy price. So if it drops below a certain amount, they buy more. But that takes capital to do that, to buy more. Especially when you got a lot of money out already.
Takes a lot of dongs.
Yeah.
A heck of a lot of dongs.
And a big dong to take that risk.
Well, we're like, our new model is really favors the side that already has money. Like, they got a racket.
I don't understand how someone shorts a stock and they make money on it going down.
it's
Like,
a scamble either way. I mean, you're
Well,
just
they got a lot of angles.
that whole fucking what's that game store?
GameStop.
Yeah, that whole GameStop thing. I never understood what the fuck they were doing.
that's a good thing.
Oh, they were proving that the thing is manipulated and like, yeah, we could do it too. Like that's being done to us. Well, that group of people were like, yeah, well, if we do this, we could do it back at them. And it showed that, yeah, it worked.
In 2008, I could have gave you a stock that went from $9 all the way down to 88 cents, and the stock is now $55 a share.
Well, yeah,
and this was no, this I was told, hey, listen, buy this stock because the owners of the company devalued it to they sold a whole bunch of stock at $8. They devalued it down to 88 cents, bought a whole ton of outstanding shares of their own company, and now it jumped. I think it took 6 months to get up to $15 a share. And now they're up to $55 a share.
Well, what's wrong with that system? What's the latest guy they found that they convicted him and all this shit coming out in court, and his girlfriend, secretary, like they literally were running the biggest one of those Ponzi schemes. But he's not really facing very there's never a penalty crime wise, like, oh, you get slapped on the wrist and on you go. Where some of those, if there was real penalties for that shit, then there'd be a lot less of it.
Cake and Cup says, why is everyone not rich? I would like to know the answer. I mean, we're talking about all the ways to manipulate the system, right?
Isn't that how Martha Stewart went to jail? Insider trading?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put her in jail basically for a couple $100,000 little thing. But like, and that of course there's the Madoff guy, but there's all these other people that get caught just as red-handed and barely face any consequences.
JP Morgan.
They pay
there's one right there.
They get taxed, and then they don't have to as big a penalty. You can buy your way out of this system. There's no question about that. No question. Unless you have integrity, then they'll make an example of you. All right.
I think that's a big reason why I like Thailand, Cambodia, a lot of the Southeast Asian countries, is because I've grown pot on the outlaw side for so long that I actually feel comfortable around those people. That's bad to say, but I feel more comfortable around those people than a normal person.
Yeah, well, those Wall Street sharks,
codes, they have ethics. Some of them
come out of top business schools. Yeah, they're trained. Yeah, they're sharp characters. They know how to. They're hustlers at the highest level. Investor groups and all that shit. I wouldn't trust those people. And we've seen in cannabis how it plays out. Like, yeah, that's a rough group to fuck with.
So Fumi, this is how I got a really long cord. I'm gonna have it straight plugged into the GoPro like that, and I'm just gonna put it in my pocket and just kind of leave it around me, and just have it plugged in all the time when I go.
Right on.
Is that a battery?
Got a big old memory card in there?
Yeah, I think there's a 128 gigabyte right now, and I have like 3 more extras. Yeah, that's not gonna bother me too bad. I can put it in there.
Yeah, by far the single worst thing about those fucking GoPros. I used to be like, no, people are overblown with the battery problems, but no, they're pretty bad. Honestly, the newest generations of GoPros, it's inexcusable.
Wrong with kids these
They're
days.
such a small unit. It's hard to put a big battery in it.
That's what
That's
she
fair,
said.
but you know,
Beach a D.
Yeah.
Right now, with the SD card I have in here, I think there's like two or three videos on it. I got it shooting in 4K at 30 frames a second, I think. And I got 3 hours and 53 minutes of record time. That's not bad.
I'm looking at the chat room. There's Dong. Hi. Good afternoon.
Dong, dong, dong.
Oh, is that
That's funny.
John Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did book my plane. It cost me I was able to get a deal with the hotel and airfare, 4 nights at this not top of the line resort, but resort type right on the beach for 11,000 baht. So for less than $260, I'm gonna go spend until Monday morning on the beach.
The life of Riley.
On an island.
Very nice. And you're walking real slow to make sure they all catch up to you. I get it.
So
Yeah.
I was looking the whole week I'm in Vegas, it's gonna be at the peak below 60 degrees.
In Vegas.
I thought you were gonna say it was the National Porn Week.
No, oh, that would be funny. They got the adult awards going.
Yeah.
They should
They might.
coordinate
Yeah, or is
those
that
with cannabis ones.
They used to do that with CES, which I think that's going on now.
Nice.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I love those glass pipes, Doc. Those are nice.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah.
The one on the top there, what do they call that? With the J shape. What do you call
Sherlock?
that?
Sherlock.
Sherlock,
Yeah.
yeah. Those are cool.
I like the hammer in the middle.
Yeah, the hammer's good. The sidecar is actually nice too. That in the top center.
Top center, yeah.
Yes, my first
Yeah.
sidecar. Yeah, I like that one.
My favorite pipes over the years were the sidecars. Like I had a couple good ones that hit so good. There's something about the sidecar when it's
No
made right.
no backsplash either. I mean, no.
Right.
Pulled down the
Yeah,
smoke.
yeah, no ashes at all.
Nice. Yeah, I got to
Yeah,
get a
those
new
good.
piece of glass myself. I was bonging it for quite a while, and I don't know. It tastes so much better when you get the direct hit.
So I bought those all together, and so that became a wholesale buy, and the pipes were like half price, or like that whole bunch was like $315.
That's pretty much what the show I'm going to is. It's Glass Vegas. It's just for wholesalers. It's for stores. But they have live demos of glass blowing. They have competitions. They have, oh, dude, I can't wait. They got this thing called the Boro race. And people make soapbox derby cars
Derby.
glass. And they race them down a hill. And a lot of the time, it's actually like a functional bong and shit. So that's going to be cool.
Let's see by the police station in America.
They race bongs down a hill.
Yeah, pretty much. Here, I'll show you.
Okay, that's
Bong racing.
that's pretty. That's a stoner thing.
Yeah, I posted it on my story. There was a skateboard clip where a guy is like doing a big old rip off a bong, and then he skates off this ramp and does the gnarliest kick flip, whatever, and lands it, and then like keeps hitting the bong.
That's a real trick there, really.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh hell yeah. Didn't even like, yeah, hit the trick like immaculately and like never missed a beat on taking the bong hit.
Has anyone ever seen the hold on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
So there's the track. They line up at the top.
Well, when I was in 8th grade, the shop class, we were given everybody was given this one size piece of balsa wood and these little model tires, and you were to carve it out.
Yep.
And we used SD rocket engines on the parking lot at the school. They put a wire, like a wire to keep it straight. And yeah, me and my dad, we built a 3-wheel one and carved it out to where it was like so thin and light. And yeah, we won that. But
oh, you were the guy I hated.
Look at this thing.
I never won. I never won my projects.
well,
yeah,
I always
never had a
cheated.
dad to
In
do
the
it.
Cheated. Yeah, I didn't
in the
have
shop
I did.
classes, my dad we had a shop and at home, so a lot of projects like, oh, I cheated, my dad helped me.
My first one I actually whittled. It looked terrible. It looked like a turd with wheels. It was fun.
I mean,
The good old days.
looking back at school, the shop class, yeah, that was.
I liked shop, man.
I learned a lot. Like I've heard, I don't have kids, but I've heard, yeah, that's those programs have declined a lot, just like music and all the other programs in school. Like, yeah, they hardly have
Sports.
shop classes anymore.
My sons are like 40-ish, all right. But back then, sports sucked. I mean, I used to coach and help out and do all that stuff, but man, and nowadays, sports is just like, even if you do have your children in sports, it's such a political fiasco that it's hardly worth it. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially when it comes to soccer, the soccer clubs. Yeah, my niece and nephews, that's the thing they were into. Yeah, they were really into it.
I don't know. It's the whole
All
society.
right, here we go. So these are the rules of this race.
Are you entered?
All cars must be constructed of glass. Cars must function as a smoking device. That's the cool part. Must be no taller than 6'5" inches, no longer than 10, width of 3.
Now, Smash, have you ever thought of getting getting into blown glass yourself? Get the equipment it takes. You seem like a person that might be good at it.
I love it. It's a lot though. Like to really get a good torch and shit, you're spending some money.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like, yeah, some people are artists that way. That's a way to express your art. Like,
there's a place around here. It's like a gallery. So like you can rent space and they have like classes on glass blowing and stuff.
yeah, I've known some glass blowers over the years, like that were really into it.
There's quite a few of them in Boston. My friend blows at two up there and one about 45. I think it's on Cape Cod or Martha's Vineyard. He blows out a glass studio there. He does soft glass, but all the soft glass hard places have torch rigs all set up. They have big lathes set up for the torches.
Bendy.
They got some really nice studios.
So like this if anyone's looking for glass like blowing equipment, mountain glass is really good, and they get a lot of color. They have some of the best torches. People say this is one of the better, and they have an Instagram. We want to check them out. They have all the craziest art. But yeah, these are one of the good people I hear. But so yeah, we're looking at torches right now, and they got one for $275, but it's out of stock. The one I could buy right now is $1,400. The Phantom.
Get serious fast.
Well, I mean, I could get a cheaper one, but like Fumi said, that's something I don't. This would be something I wouldn't want to skimp on.
And then there's the lathe, right? That's important thing. Oh, and having the air ventilation system to have it safe. And
That's important.
The kiln too. The kiln, they keep that going 24 hours all the time. They keep that going.
That's why DGC Jeff had to get a group discount to get it, and that's still too much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this was from the person that blows them, and then I've seen them at a site that just sells general pipes, and they're more than twice as much for some of these.
Yeah.
And isn't like another expensive item the lathe? Like to do certain kind of work, you need a lathe. A glass.
I think it's just bongs though.
Bongs,
maybe
big pieces.
Probably are.
So like I don't know. I'd probably just do. I would love to blow like hammers, sidecars would be cool.
Well, sometimes at these kind of events, it'll be an opportunity for someone like you to try it out. Like
I'm hoping that'd be dope. I get early access. I should go in and be like, I'll pay you $20 right now, so we bang out a bowl. But I gotta blow it. He's like, I think someone will be down to like help me make a bowl.
My old boss has a whole glass blowing setup, and he's been doing it for years, but he sucks.
I got a guy.
It's hard to watch. He'll do live streams and things, and it's just like
embarrassing live streams.
Cringe.
How you doing?
There's some good YouTube videos.
So this kid's actually from the next town over, and they got a whole like studio type thing in there at their house. I could hit him up and I could go here, and I really do want to hang out with them. But like, I've seen pieces like this go for a couple $1,000, and they're doing a starting bid of 300. He's just getting into glass, and he's really good. But yeah, he said I could come by anytime.
Does he?
I've got some Murano clowns that look like that.
Do they sell? Oh
yeah.
Really? Okay.
He makes pretty good money. But
well, yeah, you wouldn't have to sell many actually.
Yeah, I mean, all right, here I'll show you my favorite glass artist, and I'll tell you how much their pieces are.
But wouldn't a pretty lucrative part of the glass business just be making the terp slurpers and the buckets? Because
but that's like, made out of quartz. It's a different blowing aspect. It needs to be
auto. Like a good rig, unless you break it, lasts forever. But you do need to put new, like a slurper.
Utility.
Yeah, those don't last forever. No. And the ones that are quality, I'm always surprised when I've seen these like Toros and whatever. Just it's like $400 or $500 just for that.
That's beautiful.
So this is a collab between my favorite artist, Mike Luna, and another artist. This thing's probably going for over $10,000.
Wow. But you got a point though, because in the gold rush, the guy that made the most money was the one that sold the shovels.
Exactly.
You got a good. You made me think there, bud.
Oh, and I know who's making a lot of money with glass are the guys that sell the rods. And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, dude.
Well, if you have a name like Mike Luna, Salt, Darby, there's glass artists that like this guy. He sells pieces for thousands of dollars every day.
That's pretty awesome, man.
And I know some of those rods that are the crazy colors and stuff. Yeah, they're limited. There's not that much stock available, and they get pretty expensive. Yeah.
Ultraviolet.
What are they doing? I'm just kind of curious of what they're doing right now.
Raw materials. There's a lot to this. Ooh, look at this. A kiln.
Are they making from scratch here? Okay, they're making their own tubes. They're custom color tubes. That's hard to do.
Yeah. See, here's
my parents bought out a glass signing company just for our friend in Boston because of all the rods of glass that they had from like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s.
And that was probably good glass.
Yeah, some of the glass that we got with, there was like a cobalt color that they used in the 40s, and there was a ruby red that they used in the neon glass that he's like, yeah, these are like, you know, $300 a foot.
Well, I mean, neon isn't as popular as it used to be, but that's an art itself. Like guys that were like super talented at neon,
bending,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is that company that sells the torches. This is their website or Instagram. If anyone ever wants to see cool ass pieces, some of them aren't even smoking devices. I don't think this. Oh wait, yeah, it might be a smoking device. But sometimes they just have amazing art sculptures and stuff.
Cheers, cool. Everybody.
Oh shit, that thing is dope.
Ooh, that's nice.
You guys remember when I showed the Blaschka brothers glassworks? So the Blaschkas, there were a couple of, I want to say they were from Germany.
See, that's not even a bomb.
But they the museums and everywhere realized that all of the specimens that they had on for like plant life and fucking like aquatic animals especially and shit, that it was hard for them to display them because they would have to display them in a vat of fucking of liquid, or they would deflate, or they would lose their color, or all these other things, you know, or like, you know, plants obviously die and dry and whatever. So these Blaschka brothers,
they used to blow specimens out of glass.
Yeah, and they made thousands and thousands of these glass. I mean, just stunning artwork. And this is back in the 1800s.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's was one of the first uses of the printing press too, was just to print out just like how a machine was made. Like, this is how you make a machine to get the water out of a mine. You know, the pumping mechanism with gears, and this is how you construct this work. And yeah, Germany did a lot of that too. Yeah, they were good on mining. I just watched something on that.
Glass is an art form. It can be turned into an art form. Growing can be an art form. You know what I mean?
There's different types too.
Glass actually, I got.
That's cool.
Like, there's stained glass, there's sculptures, there's boro, there's quartz. There's a whole bunch of different like ways you can get into glass art.
And I guess if you're going to be in this fake system, if you're an artist and you're actually good enough to have people give you money for what you do, that's probably the ultimate existence, in my opinion.
Yeah, these were like before photographs.
That's beautiful.
Well, what you could do is sell one of your pieces of art and have an art studio and then go take out an insurance policy on the 5 to 1,000 paintings or whatever you did, and you can borrow money against that.
Leverage.
Your collection of artwork.
Well, let's just remember there's a term called starving artist, and as grand as the arts are, most artists, it all sounds good, but like most artists,
that's why I said you got to be good enough to be paid.
Even in real art, like most of those people only became famous and their art became like worthy way past the time they died. Like in their life, they were beyond starving. No one appreciated none of that shit and gave them any money for it.
Well, they were cutting off ears and shit. They weren't doing it.
Then they died. Holy shit. Now their shit's worth $1 million.
With social media though, it's come a long way because like if you're good at art and people you put it on social media, it will blow up because there's nothing restricting it.
That's how you know if you're good, actually, nowadays.
I mean, that glass cactus looks deadly, though.
Even with like AI, that a lot of art.
Wouldn't want to get near that.
But artists are going to survive. It's been part of human, the arts.
There's a whole website called Etsy for this, like art shit.
Even with my experience now with horses, I come to find out, my boss came back from this auction and bought a bunch of stuff that when it comes to like show horses and the really fine leather work, it's like jewelry quality. I mean, the type of stuff they weave horsehair in, and
a saddle can be up to $10,000
or even more. Of course, China. Oh yeah, there's a whole influx of Chinese stuff in the market, but there's still made in the USA stuff, and the huge majority of that is made on Indian reservations. The Navajo, they still make some of the finest horse tack, we'll say, and use craftsmanship. Like when you look at a piece or someone's, I don't even know all the names of the different stuff but the real price stuff is still like legitimate Navajo stuff where, they're still pumping out high quality tack is what you call it. Like
the Amish too.
In almost any aspect of what we do, it can be turned into an art form. I mean, making toothpaste could be an art form. You know what I mean? In the toothpaste industry, man, this guy here, he's, we're paying him millions of dollars to put out this toothpaste because every home, every human being has a tube of it.
Well, I mainly just to myself, but I realized years ago, after so many years of growing cannabis, that was like my art. Like there was art in that. Like,
absolutely.
For sure. Now, in the new business with the SOPs and the mega grows, they're probably not practicing much art there.
No,
but there's an art to that too. There's an art to scale and
art to fuckery. Yeah, there's an art to fuckery.
Yeah, there's an art to fuckery too.
There is. I mean, you have to have a
in
real.
Today's world, fuckery is just accepted. It's like, it's all for the money. Like,
welcome to America. You wanted to come. Now you should.
Younger years, there was more emphasis put on being like today you can be the biggest fuckery ever and you're celebrated. It's crazy.
Exactly.
The internet and it's made the world a smaller place, of course, but it's taken away the accountability and the responsibility of being face to face. I mean, especially among men. If you're face to face with another man, just psychologically in person, there's something that goes on like respect, all right? Because you know that if you push that guy too far, he's going to hit you. I mean, just how far can you push him? All right.
That has gone away. That has gone away in
How can-
today's society.
I'm
People have
pushing.
forgotten that if you push, you're going to get your nose broke.
So there's no accountability, which opens this thing up, the internet, to huge amounts of thievery, basically.
Pussies.
Yeah, thievery.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's that stat that they put out of like how much hacking dollars a year. We just accept it. We all pay. That's what the higher fees and the businesses don't take a hit on it, but they just accept that there's so much, yeah, this thievery, like whatever hacking and financial. Oh, there's like billions and billions a year just lost to that. And oh, well, that's part of doing business.
Do you know how many times I've been catfished online because I'm an old gentleman? It's bizarre. I'm not kidding you.
Well, in my life, I've known a lot of people on different sides, like hustlers, but I've yet to ever personally know any of these people that are hackers, like that, like, oh, somehow do whatever online and make fucking millions of dollars and no one knows the difference. Like, yeah, that's a new breed of a person. Like, yeah, and there's really no accountability for those people. The way they do it, it's not like they can get caught.
That's right.
So
And if they do get caught, they just get hired by the government to be white hat.
99.9% of those come from India, and shit. Now I lost my train of thought.
They just
Catfishing.
busted one of the
Nigeria.
biggest
That's
guys
right.
there.
And there's so much.
$8 million.
Yeah, well, wait,
Resorts.
because I've seen an interview with this guy that got busted, and
Hold that
yeah,
thought, D. Hold that thought.
that opened a career because now they hire him to fucking consult against it, right? So like
Hey, white hat.
his penalty was basically now he works for them and gets this giant salary because they think he
I watched a
something like he claims to be the biggest hacker in the fucking world, and yeah, he's got
I watched
nothing
a
to show
podcast
for it
called.
though.
There's a really good podcast called Darknet Diaries. Jack Resider is the guy's name, but he puts up episodes usually once a week that are all the biggest heists and scams and things that have gone on, and he usually interviews the people that were part of them.
I like
really
watching
interesting
the
ones when
ones
they go into
where they call the guy back and they get into his computer and then they erase the hard drive on his computer while he's talking to him.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Like Scam Revolts does that, and then sometimes as well, depending if it's like if they have Windows 97 or before, because a lot of them get the cheap computers and old operating systems, they can actually syskey them, which means you can put a password on it. And then they also as well hold on just 1 second, bud. And they also as well they'll put viruses on their computer like the MEMS virus, which is pretty funny. Go ahead, bud.
Even though it happened years ago, one of the amazing stories, and I heard different renditions of, is that what the guy, the Silk Road guy, and like he was in like nonchalant. He thought he had all his bases covered, but he was going into this public library in I think San Francisco, and boom, the one guy, like just per chance, really the way that investigation went down, but like yeah, they got him.
Well, that and Bitcoin is actually traceable. Like,
yeah,
people act like
everything is traceable.
Well, I think when it first came out, right at the beginning, but now, like if you have a wallet and you do it,
well, the thing is
you're on the internet, then yeah,
it's still anonymous. But if you link the same account, if you fuck up and you use your email address as a login for this sort of thing, and that's how a lot of the guys get caught, is they'll have an old address or something that they'll have linked to something else that I don't know.
Oh yeah,
the library thing might have been like a video camera that they looked back and said, "Oh yeah, this this was the terminal used and who was sitting there and they looked at a
No,
video.
it was
Sometimes
his laptop because the minute he closed his laptop, it would shut it down and lock it. And they actually had like 3 or 4 people, and 2 people were just to make sure that laptop didn't get shut.
Yeah, they moved
I
on
I,
him
I,
like
I, heard,
super
I heard that
quick.
interview.
Pretty girl was his downfall.
You're talking
Was
about
it-
the guy that ran.
Silk
wasn't-
Road.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
Nope. You're
well-
talking about like he's got like a southern accent.
He was here in Thailand.
Yeah, well, that guy got life. Like they didn't fuck around with the sentence for him. He was relatively young, and yeah, they maxed him out to the hilt.
Yeah, because of all the drugs and the murders.
Well, part of it was it turned into violence, got involved, and that was part of it.
If you can keep violence out of it, it should be quite simple.
Well, they went for a lot of years and had a pretty good team, but as like the story I saw, the money corrupted those people, and people turned bad and people got violent. Same old story.
You play like that, you're gonna pay one way or another sooner or
Well, I
later.
gotta give at that peak at that time, that was pretty amazing that someone had pulled that off at the dark web, Silk Road, whatever. They were selling a lot of shit openly. Like it made a dent. It showed statistically in the international postal, like it was a percent of the packages in the world were like coming off the Silk Road.
They were keeping the post office in business, basically.
Yeah. Like
And
X amount,
the post office
like X
too,
amount of
because
packages were that. Yeah. It's still to this day that there's still the dark web and there's still shit on there.
Absolutely.
when you use
Shit.
FedEx or UPS, those are private companies and they can search your packages without a warrant. But the United States Post Office needs to have due process to search a package.
It's not worth their, I mean, unless
Yeah,
it's
no.
for millions of dollars.
In the reality, you got to consider they're dealing with like millions and millions of packages a day, right? So they could do a lot of things, but that would disrupt the whole. Like they can barely get these things, forget like.
If you know the
It's
post
pretty
office,
amazing that most packages can get around the world in just a couple days.
Dude, if you know how the post office works, that statement is so true because they're the most disorganized POS run system that there is. It's absolutely crazy. I've been in a post office. I used to work for a direct mailing company where we would do direct mailing. So you go to the post office, they'd have stacks of shit that non-deliverable. We don't know. Oh yeah, we found this. It looks like 2 or 3 years old. We don't know what to do. So
my one friend went to high school with a guy that got a career in the post office and he works security division. And a year, it's been a while. There was a situation where he called dude to ask some questions and stuff, and they had lunch. And that guy, let me see if I can make this make sense. That guy basically said, yeah, he's in the security division of the post office. That's what they deal with. Most of what they work on is policing postal workers. Like there's like they don't there's all this inside crime and
you can get really good at seeing if there's $100 bill in an envelope, I bet.
People send way more than $100 sometimes.
Yeah, and that that most of the investigations and all that is in internal, not over. Oh no, they just dispose of shit like that. They don't unless an agency is contacting them. It's just like part of, yeah, there's a whole system, and when things pop up, they dispose.
I've only
And really, I know a thing or two about this. Yeah, like we've always thought that sometimes when certain things came up missing, oh, it was like that hub. Yeah, I always imagined, yeah, there's like 10 guys and they're all splitting the loot at the end of the day. And if you were looking for things, one, you would know location. So like things coming from one area to another. Two, oh, most packages are in a computerized system with companies that have like pre-printed labels and shit, like Amazon and all that or whatever. You can eliminate those, and then you could really just zero in as millions of boxes are coming through. It wouldn't be hard to like go, yeah, odds are, like, yeah, we know what to look for, and then yeah, they work as a team, and then they split the loot. You know what I mean?
It's see, all of these things that we can think of in a system that large is reality. It's not a if or maybe. It's happening. All right. It's so poorly ran. And I would think almost every government agency, they're running a business basically on our money. And that means they don't really give a shit if there's a profit or loss. Sometimes there's a tax advantage, as Fumador was mentioning to me, on another situation where you can make money by taking a loss. So it's kind of, this system, I think, is the problem, this social system that we're all in. It's not very fair. And now it's being leveraged to those at the very top of the system. And there's no more classes. I mean, it's just, we're all going to be, basically.
My mom was business manager for entertainers that made a lot of money. And I could remember overhearing conversations with her and talking to her clients, where she'd basically be telling them that, yeah, this is the thing. You can either donate, because that's, a lot of people get, that have money, get a lot of nonprofits that hit them up for donations, because at the end of a certain part of the year, it's either, oh, you want to give away $250,000 or you want to just give it to Uncle Sam. Your choice. Do you like animal rescue? Give them the money. Otherwise, you're going to give it to Uncle Sam. Like that's where a lot of those donation things really make a lot of money, because yeah, people have to give away a certain amount of money.
I get hit. I get hit. I've been hit several times about joining a donation or a charity or stuff like that, and I refuse to get involved.
Most of them are pretty corrupt at this point.
I just don't trust them.
It's sad for the few ones that try to still have some legitimacy, but yeah, their track records, they're just a business. Like that's all they are.
Yep.
And some of the biggest ones have been the most, like, oh, only pennies on the dollar actually went to anything,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, the rich can launder their money easily. It goes through a foundation that donates it to this charity and this fund and fucking.
Well, guys, I got to go water my plants, so it's always fun talking about all the
it's
problems.
good to hang with you, Bingus.
You guys take care. All right.
There's not enough of us old folks around here.
I definitely qualify. Take care, guys.
Thanks,
Chat.
Cheers, Bingus.
Cheers, you guys.
Later, Bingus. So just for everybody to know, I posted thing in chat. That video is my favorite memes. Destroying a scammer's PC plus his reaction. You gotta give him the memes virus.
I think I've seen, No, I didn't watch the video, but I saw the thumbnail or whatever.
I reversed. I caught a scammer one time when I was just probably like 4 years ago. There was a chick on a dating site that I talked to, and she was a black chick, and she was claiming to live in this little small town of like 200 people or whatever. And I could already tell, she just didn't, she'd see it, it wasn't, it didn't seem right. I could tell it was, she was a scam or whatever. And, but she used part of her real name or something like that in her screen name. And somehow I was just Googling shit, and I found like her, like she was from Nigeria, like, and it's like just like a mud hut of a school. I mean, it was like, barely walls to this fucking thing. And once I said her name and I showed her like screenshots of the shit, and she was fucking she still wouldn't. She's like, no, you're wrong. I live in Beer, And I'm like, well, because I asked her to show me a picture of a pine tree, like fucking. If you're in fucking this town, you guarantee there's a pine tree, within fucking cameras reach of you. But
Yeah, exactly.
but then I tried to like be like you got to step your game up, because like she was wanting me to give her fucking some type of prepaid music card, like like iTunes or something like that, but it was like an old school version. I forget what they used to call it. But it's like no one uses that anymore. But like that's like the only type of card that in where Nigeria they can still redeem them for cash somehow. They may even have a couple steps removed where they gotta convert this to that. But like
scam,
so many companies don't work there anymore.
They got that shit pretty elaborate where like, yeah, they take on people's identity. It's like a whole, I imagine it's a boiler room and they can create like a whole, and they just fish away and statistically, they grind out X amount of fucking
how many
money.
old guys must just get milked for money on these dating sites? I mean, because expect on a lot of them, there's to the person who hasn't fucking been on them before you look at them, and there'll be all these women that appear to be online in your area and shit, and it's like fucking
they got that shit down.
Scam city.
And like what is really underneath it compared to what it like presents. Yeah. Like I always imagine it's just some little seedy fucking, like some Russian fucking guy with a boiler room of these people. They don't even have to be women. They can just like, and they can portray anything. Like they got an answer for almost everything. Yeah.
Well, shit. It's just the 1-900 numbers. Oh,
Yeah.
It's
that industry and that investment money, the people that were doing that just, as technology advanced, they advanced with it. Like even with like in cannabis, High Times main ads used to be all this fake weed shit that those people made a ton of money over the years with, like that. That's the same people that were the spice and all that, and that's the same people that are back behind the Delta 8, and like it's that same group and money that just
I want to say
reinventing that hustle.
I want to say when I was like 15 or something, I bought a tie stick off of High Times, and it came in a little fucking glass fucking test tube with a cork in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody, there's all the things High Times fucked up, obviously, but even way back in the day when they were, pretty much, High Times was like the main thing. Their main ads on the front page, the back page, were these like fake weeds. They had all these names. They were like, you could order it internationally. It wasn't weed at all. It was some weird herb that looked like weed, maybe, right? That was like their main ad. Like, so they were compromised even back then that they would take ads from companies like that knowingly.
All right, guys.
Right.
Have a good day. Be safe.
Like that always bothered me about
We
that
don't lie.
magazine. Like
Peace.
the
Cheers,
people
Smash.
that ran it were like allowing like pretty big operations of fake bullshit to 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 gain millions of dollars of sales through their ads in high times. They should
Yeah,
have a
William
standard.
was something at one point. That wasn't the. They did have something that looked just like weed, like
Yeah, I
cannabis,
forget the name of like
but
and they
they had
had
a
all
mixture
these
too.
pictures and every name, like every strain name, they had it, all these products, and they'd have double page ads and fold outs, and they were the main advertiser of
I have a bunch of old magazines.
yeah, they a lot of
Full of them.
fakery. Like today we would call bullshit, but back then, yeah. Oh, you used to have to send money order in like to some weird PO box in New Jersey, or they had like obvious scams. I like remember all the ID ads where you could get fake IDs and shit. You send and then send you a booklet or some bullshit. Like it was like so much bullshit. Not much has changed. Just the media, the form of like the internet now. But people were
Yeah,
working that same kind of hustles way back.
yeah, even more intense. Yeah, with these synthetic compounds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
I
went
think
into a high-end
Buddy.
market tonight, and if
Or
you wanted to spend like $200, you could get a Rolex with a glass crystal and literally Swiss movements in it that are comparable to almost Rolex movements. But that was that next step up. That's why I think those shoes we seen, those are the top of the line knockoffs, because that was $100 a pair for those Louis Vuittons.
oh shit, we never
it,
got to the
it was
shoes.
probably pumped out in the same factory, just not under a Nike work order.
Exactly.
Right.
And I see a lot of those ads over here for like, the North Face jackets. Well, what if I want to order these? Well, you have to order 300 pieces and they're $17.95.
You can even see it on Amazon.
For 169 with their names.
And sometimes like companies like Nike, the actual fabric, the actual materials, they supply to the factory to put it together, and that's where the difference is, because they have like whatever quality or unique canvas or whatever that the knockoff is the best they can get to that, but it ain't the one that Nike has, because they had it made for themselves at bulk, and that's where like guys that can tell them apart, they look at the fibers under microscope, and then that's how you can always tell the fake ones, because most of the time
So that
Stitching too.
that leather that was on those shoes, that was a heavy duty leather. I mean, that was a well-made shoe.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it still exists, but I know what made Louis Vuitton bags what they were was that they had like a quality of leather that they had pretty much was known for, like their old luggage and their, what they built their rep on before it was a designer brand. It was on this quality of leather that, they only sourced. You couldn't get leather like that unless Louis Vuitton had a source for that.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like most of those knockoffs are going to wear the same. Like it's, well, some of them, like you say, you feel the soul if it's soft. Like some of them are shit, but a lot of them are made pretty much almost the same quality as the who they're knocking off.
I
Yeah.
wonder if you can still cut this out. Print and cut it out. See if they'll send you one of these things. Worth a shot.
They're poor monkeys.
Clandestine research.
Well, you know how they do like shows called like Where Are They Now? It'd be a good show where like some investigative show went and found all these things and then traced the people down or where they are now and whether and I have a feeling it would be an example of karma where you would see that these people, even though they might have made money or whatever, they indulged in fuckery. Oh yeah, karma. They did. Yeah, they didn't have the life you'd expect. Like all that just came with a lot of karma. Like that. I've noticed that in life. Yeah, you play with that. I've known guys that, yeah, were fuckery guys. Oh yeah, the miserable shit happened to them, their family, their fucking life. Yeah. I always chalk that up to karma. Even though karma doesn't really mean that exactly, but it sounds good.
There's a used isommerizer on eBay for $1,500.
Well, my boss collects these things called briar horses. They're these plastic horses. She's been collecting them since she was 7 years old. And like even yesterday, a thing happened where there's a special deal that they offer every year, and customers spend $150 and then are going to get this random thing. And this year, there were 4 different designs. They made 600 of the 3, but they only made 24 of the one, right? 24 lucky people that paid 150 are going to get this one that's already right off the bat. She showed me the ad. Someone else is selling that one for 3,800, all right? Especially because of rarity. Now, she got an email from a lady who, because there's this whole community, people collectors and all this weird shit, these weird little plastic horses, right? But she wanted one of the other designs, and that's the design that Carrie got, right? The 600, and wants to trade head up, meaning she's offering a 21 of 24 that is valued at $3,800 for one that is just one of the 600. And then skeptical me is like, oh no, this is probably some bullshit, right? Like who would, like, how would she? She's like, no, I don't think she realizes that one that she got is worth 3,800. She just doesn't. She wants this other one, and I'm thinking, oh no, it's a scam. Like, yeah, they're not going to send it because this would be like, I'll send you mine, you send me yours type of deal. I'm like, yeah.
You're kind of right. Most of the people that collect those are little kids or older people, and I don't think she actually understands what she has. I'd make the trade, and if you got
she
it,
is.
I would
like even Carrie,
like
she has thousands of them, and even she said to me, even if it is a scam, even if you're right, it's a scam. It doesn't matter. I have double that horse and whatever the fuck. It's she has a sickness, and it's these briar horses. Like,
well, they're not that expensive, and you can pick them up at garage sales, estate sales for a couple dollars a piece.
We have 3 tack houses that have been converted to briar horse things.
Horse houses.
Between 4 and 4:30, I go down to the gate where between Amazon, FedEx, and the mail, I'd say average is like six to 10 boxes have come. And then no matter what's going on, horse-wise and finishing the day, she disappears once I bring her the horses into her main hack house and opens them up and displays them and does her thing and throws the empty boxes outside, which, holy shit, I got a cardboard pile of boxes and shipping materials from these horses. And yeah, like I say, 40 years she's been collecting them. She's telling me that she's in the other tack houses. There's a really for sale. Like she's collecting them. They're worth all this money. She just needs to make the ads on eBay and this Facebook group and take pictures of them. And I think it's one of these projects where I could probably do that for you. Right. But in the meantime, for years, they're just piling up and there's different shapes, different colors. It's so crazy. But it's no different than it's like a collector thing. Like whether it's Pokemon cards or Grateful Dead memorabilia or Briar.
I'm afraid I gotta start selling pottery now. Fucking
people get certain collector types, get these whatever obsessions and collect whatever it is they collect, and it creates like a whole industry.
Mrs. D right now is starting to collect those strawberry shortcake dolls. We already got like 6 of them, something like that.
Yeah, I did that for someone like 23 years ago.
Chocolate fountain.
When they were only like $20, $25 a pop.
Well, to me, in
That's
the last whatever year, there's been Pokemon cards, and like, I thought that the whole thing died off. It was a fad. But then, mainly Mace, and he's shown me certain cards that he has that are worth like, tens of thousands of dollars or even higher. That I'm like, what? This card's worth that? Like, yeah, there's Pokemon cards that are worth like huge amounts of money, which is like crazy to me that some little cardboard card. I get that certain sports cards of certain people are worth a lot.
Wagner.
But Pokemon cards, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I know. Us having Smash with still here. Oh yeah.
But a lot of people believed in it and held on to them, and yeah, like there was a time that Pokemon was played out, but then it made a comeback.
I was gonna say earlier that I only lost one thing in the mail, and it was fucking. It was a shitty thing to lose too. It was like an $800 fucking fuel injection pump for.
Mm-hmm. That sucks.
Oh, you cut out. He's totally muted.
And even though I paid the $100, the buyer paid the $100 insurance or whatever. Like the insurance covered them and everything, but still, I was out the profit on the part and fucking, I don't know, fucking sucked ass.
Well, I had the opposite thing happen, I guess 2 years ago. I bought, it was like $800 window unit air conditioner heater, right? From, I think it was through Amazon or whoever it was. And, it showed it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. But the next day, way down on the road, not even close to my house, on the side of the road was they like left it down there, right?
I had someone.
So I was like, well, fuck it. Like they didn't even deliver it to my house or even on the road of my house. It was just on the main road. So I took it. It was addressed to me. But then I called them and said, yeah, I never got it. They're like, oh, you never got it? I'm like, no. And they sent me another one. I was like, all right, cool. I got two for the price of one.
5 years ago, I was out on it was just like there used to be farm buildings out there and shit. It was a property that I was doing reclaiming all the barnwood, but it was the same property that my buddy started growing on for his dispensary, where we had like 3,000 plants out there. And I just had like there's a little fish house. That was like my tool shed fucking slash I'd stay there a lot of nights. And there's a mailbox on the end of the driveway, like it was on a gravel road. And it was 5 years ago, I won a cut from someone on the SCP channel. And they sent it to me in like a little like maybe 8x8 box. And it was in like January, or it was in the winter. I know it was only like it was like below freezing out. It was like, it wasn't like 40 below or anything, but I want to say it was like it probably got to like 10 or 20 degrees maybe overnight, where they had fucking taken the box and brought it down my driveway and just set it on a fucking log. And fucking just by chance it caught my eye, and fucking it survived, dude. Like it was set. It set in the cold overnight, 10 degrees.
That's crazy.
It was in a box that was like, and then it was like a fucking like a thick bag, like you'd get like minnows in or something like that. And it was fucking like they'd fucking pressurized it and sealed it off, so there's like air inside there.
That's crazy, dude.
Kind of like a cushion. I don't know.
Cheers to everybody in the chat. Cheers to all the, what did I say, 40-something people watching? 38 people watching.
Holy cannoli.
Oh, there's Jimmy.
Just here in the background doing a little bit of work. If you guys want to chat a little bit longer, I was thinking, maybe to the 20 or something, but if you guys want to chat a little bit longer, this would be the time to hop on, help the conversation keep going. A lot of the folks here probably are willing to keep chatting if there's enough kind of conversational topics. Dee's not actually. Dee has to go. Well, so actually that's a question for you. If you guys have to go, or if you want to cut it short or whatever. Whatever your preference is. Normally the show's actually only about an hour and 20 minutes or something. So today you've gotten a bonus, ladies and germs. Hit the link though if you'd like to. We had a bunch of cool people stop through here, Jeff and Bingus and a bunch of other folks. Feel free to hit the link, ladies and germs. Just don't be a dick, don't show your dick. That's about it. Other than that, hop on here, folks. And if not, of course, we can cut in 15 minutes or so and bounce.
Well, I'm here till the 20th.
Talking about here. Say it again, D.
I bet Bud's got another story in him or two.
I'm here till the 20th. I don't forget I've been on already earlier. I did the pre-show.
That's true.
I've been doing this now for what, 3 hours now? 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna roll another joint for the 20th.
Nice.
What's everybody in chat smoking on? What's everyone in panel smoking on? What's the big one?
I think I was smoking apple banana earlier.
Right on. I don't know if you saw my post on Instagram, Bud, but I'm watching right now the Grateful Dead closing Winterland.
Yeah,
Can't believe it's
that's
a 4
good. I mean,
show.
some of it is the audio is really pretty good for the era, 78. But like, yeah, actually that's filmed by, I think, wait, one of the big directors at his early part of his career. Yeah, he was in charge of filming that. I forget what director. He's one of the big names.
I don't know, but it's pretty cool.
Well,
I'm
work your
starting
way
to like
up into the more modern era, like in the video and all that. In the late 80s, there's some footage that's like more quality. Like back then, even the stuff they filmed or video was used to cost huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
Like where today, yeah, you can the cost of quality videos gone down tremendously. But back in the early days, like audio technology was much more advanced than video was. Like I look back at old footage that of the classic stuff. Oh, part of it is that yeah, we didn't have VHS and weird crappy formats and Super 8.
Who remembers Beta?
Now an iPhone captures it about as good a quality as you can get.
Yeah. Well, I'm digging the music, man. It's hilarious. Pretty good.
Well, yeah, that's what they were always about, is the music. Once you like get past and get an ear for what they're doing, yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, man.
Like the Grateful Dead have their own YouTube channel, and during COVID, they brought stuff out of the vault that was never seen. Whole concerts, 3.5 hours of them playing that they never used it in anything. And it raised money. It was like a fundraiser. It was free to watch, but there was like a little thing they were trying to raise money. Some of it, yeah, raised a lot of money. And it was like, yes, it was every week, or no, might not have been every week, but during COVID, they when everyone was locked down, we had this like Grateful Dead unreleased shows. And oh, the chat would have like 20,000 deadheads all locked up with COVID. So we were like having simulated. Yeah, we stayed connected even during COVID through the online shows. And they left all those up. Like you can go watch them. Like there's some really good ones from like 1989, 90, right in that era. You'll get there. You'll get to those. It's good you're starting at the beginning.
Yeah. I'm digging it. What's going on, Green Fingers?
Not much. Cheers.
Just in time for the 20.
Green Fingers.
My screen is filthy. Hold on, let me change.
Oh, fucking hate that. Two papers. That paper seems a little too thick. There's two papers stuck together.
What kind do you use?
Players.
What size?
For you?
Regular.
Oh. I'm particular about what papers I use. So I use these DHL, and that's after switching after 20 years at Hempire. But when they changed their formulation and got thicker, I switched to DHL. They're like rice. And then I always use 1.25 my whole life. And then I use 84 millimeter now because they're a little longer. I wouldn't say more than a half inch less, But somehow when I roll a joint with the 84s, the joint lasts way longer than a 1 1/4. So you put a little more weed, and somehow the joints last way longer.
Anyway, I say this. Ugh. I feel the same way when you stick two leaves together.
Now, sometimes over at the warehouse, oh, they got this bowl and they got raws and this and that, zigzag, and I'll roll with whatever's there. Yeah, no, not all papers are created equal.
Yeah, I don't like. I used to use Export A, but now for some reason the glue doesn't seem to work, and I don't like raw papers. Raw papers are terrible.
Element is pretty close to DHL or DLX as far as thinness, rice, but somehow their glue doesn't always stick good, or they unglue themselves. Where, yeah, that's why I don't like Elements, because they don't always stay glued together.
I hate Elements too. I'm picky.
Well,
don't use Zigzag.
Zigzag, I guess, is improved and has like some better papers out. But you realize that Raw owns like all the different paper, like not all, but most. Like, oh, they own DHL or DLX. They own Elements. They own his company was big enough that his business model lasts so many years is to just buy all the competition.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, because part of it is he buys certain ones and then takes them off the shelf. So there's like, oh, only raw. Like a lot of times you go to a smaller type of smoke shop and you're like, yeah, they have every kind of raw there is, and then only a couple other kinds. That was always his strategy. You can't knock the guy as far as building a rolling paper empire, but I don't like the model where one company just buys out its competition and then shuts it down. That's a weak move.
Big
yeah, I don't like
little bank. I like that. Big bank. No, I don't like it either. I use whatever papers I have. I'm not picky. I'm using raws right now. I don't have a choice.
Yeah, I wish I liked raws. If I liked raw papers, I'd try to smoke one of those Challenger papers to myself. I could do that, no problem.
I
don't like raw.
finished vibes. The last ones before that were something else. Whatever they got.
I'm picky.
Wish I could be picky.
Good old players.
Wait, the one that Burner made, what are those vibes? At the whatever event, I have every size. Like
every size and different.
Good, right? From Vibes. And I was open-minded. I was like, cool. Hopefully these are good. No. They're like thicker. I don't like them.
Like I said, I'm not picky.
Well, when push comes to shove, I wouldn't be that picky. But I buy a box, a case, 25 pack for around $30. You can find most papers.
Yeah.
And then it lasts me. I don't use a bong or a pipe or anything. I just roll joints. It lasts me a long time. But when I get down to a couple packs left, then I buy another case, and it's like replacing bulbs.
I used to go to the wholesale store and buy them by the box too.
Yeah, well, I won't pay like if you go buy single packs, some places want like over $2 a pack or whatever.
What? $5 here.
Yeah,
they
or like
$5. That's like the $2 ones when they're two.
So For the longest time, if I'm going to buy a paper, I buy it by the case.
$2 for these for the wrong. Why they're here? Otherwise, they're $6. I was like, what the heck?
Crazy.
I just lost the other one, bro.
Like a jackass.
When I was in prison, we'd use the back pages of these pocket Bibles. So you can't complain about papers. Like you smoke with whatever. I think
Yeah.
even couldn't find that. We would like use any kind of paper. It didn't matter.
Mm.
Yeah, they probably just roll with leaves too, like out in the little bush, like in Africa, where they're growing and smoking.
Boo boo boy.
Got leaves everywhere. But I've used brown paper bag once.
Oh, whoa. That's brutal.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, man. I make a pipe or a bong for
I was
that.
rolling papers.
I think
Grandpa
when
used to use
I
newspaper.
used to see early footage from Jamaica, they used to use brown paper bag and roll these giant whatever sweeps out of brown paper in Jamaica.
I've seen them use corn husk. Seen them use onion paper from onions, like the thin paper off of onions. I've seen.
Fuck.
Yeah, the corn husks are way thicker than the onion papers. I would actually try the onion paper.
Yeah, onion paper. Yeah, that could be good.
Crazy. But I've seen some crazy stuff.
Wow.
Just to smoke. I wouldn't do it.
Cheers, folks. Happy 420.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cheers. Woo!
Well, there we go. It's taken absolutely forever, but I've added a couple of t-shirts to the website.
Woo!
Been meaning to add some designs for the longest time. I'm curious if you guys will enjoy them. I guess I might as well show them off now.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Jeff. Cheers. Thank you. It's really something else. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I guess I don't want to say too much in public, but it's something else. It's just legal robbery, basically. We fucked up. Anyway, ladies and germs, so D is taking off. You guys want to cut the show? You want to cut out for the evening? I've certainly got some stuff to do, but Green Fingers just hopped on. What's your guys' plans?
I think I gotta hop
I'll
off.
talk at once.
Yeah,
right.
I'm good
Sounds like
with.
we're cutting it.
I go with the flow. Yeah, we could cut.
All right, we'll cut it. Who wants to go first? Jeff, go for it.
All right, yeah, thanks for having this. This was good. And yeah, it was a good session. Glad Bingus hopped on. Everyone was on there. It was a good mix. All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Cheers, dude. There, Jeff. Have a good
Later,
one.
Jeff.
All right, I'll go
Green
next.
Fingers,
I'll see you
dude.
guys.
Go for it, bud.
We'll see you Saturday. Have a good week. The rest of the week, stay safe and stay warm.
Yeah. This whole fucking week has flown by, hasn't it? Go for it, Green Fingers.
All right, everybody. Have a good day. Peace out.
Yeah, cheers. Go for it, hardcore.
Cheers, everyone.
Short and sweet. Go for it, D.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks to everybody, the lurker, the non-lurker, chatting in the background, non-chatting, maybe smoking a joint, doing some work, doing some soil separation, some worms. Don't forget to tune in Saturday on this channel for the takeover. Hope everybody has a great week. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram at D_zombie_. And also, I'm going to send out my YouTube channel because I'm now going live once in a while at DZombie_745. Cheers, everybody. Oh, a big thanks to Pheno, of course, for always putting this shit on and doing all this crazy bullshit. Later, everyone.
Thanks very much for always doing these shows, D. Thanks for doing the takeovers and everything else. We wouldn't be doing the show probably if it weren't for D, honestly. It has been a challenging 6 months for me, and if it hadn't been for D and some of the other guys too, Bud and the other guys stepping up to do some shows, this show would have vanished into a puff of smoke. Ladies and germs, by the way, what we were talking about, raw papers. I'm a big fan. Yeah, people are always talking about, oh, have you ever tried raw papers? I'm like, yeah, I've tried the raw papers. First of all, I didn't like them very much, and second of all, I don't understand why people give a single fucking fuck. It's just some guy. It's just some fucking guy that bought a bunch of brands. He was probably rich already, like just I'm guessing because that's just how it is normally. I don't know anything about the guy really other than what most people know probably. In fact, I probably know less than you guys, honestly. But I'm just like, why do people care about this one guy that bought up a bunch of freaking paper companies? Everyone's just tonguing his freaking balls because apparently he's raw or some shit. I don't even know. I don't have anything necessarily against the brand. I guess in principle, I have a rolling tray somewhere, like a chick with kind of big something or other in a bikini, pretty much. I used that tray for a long time. I don't know where it is right now. But I mean, the papers are just not that good. And they're also a lot of them made in China. Everyone's like, oh no, they're all made in Spain. I'm like, just look at the fucking back of the package. Like, you don't have to try very hard. Like, I'm not lying to you. Like, go buy them at the store, take a look at the back of the package, and it says made in fucking China. You can do that anywhere. You can go to 82nd Pipe and Tobacco. Their raw crutches basically are made in China. Like, I think even the raw papers are made in China. Like, a lot of their products are made in China. He's apparently bought up a ton of paper companies. Like Bud said, I don't know why anyone gives a single fuck. It's like, whatever. I use Zigzag. I don't give a shit. Like, I pay money for these. I don't get them sponsored or for free. Maybe that's what it is. People get, a bunch of free stuff and they're like, oh, I love that company. It's one of the reasons not to take sponsors because then you have to basically tongue that company's balls. No ball tonguing on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, unless you're in that. That's obviously your prerogative. Let's take a look, ladies and germs, at some of the new shirts available. I hope to have a few more. It was taking forever. I kept having to add a few of these over and over and over again. But in the meantime, a couple are missing right now. I don't know. Can we hold on? Let me stop the share again and maybe refresh this because I just added another one that I really want you to see. But motherfuck. There we go. It's actually on there. Holy cannoli. It's maybe a little bit premature to release this one, honestly. But I just so I thought I had to release it. So that's just all there is. So this strain technically is coming. But Tyrannosaurus Rex, ladies and gentlemen, you can get a t-shirt today. Fucking dinosaur. Anyway, this is technically also Tyrannosaurus Rex. I actually misspelled it, as you can see. But this one says this high with Pomodoro. Oh, in fact, did I cut off the bottom? I maybe need to edit that again because I think I cut the bottom off there. So that's pretty fucked up. But this one's pretty good too, ladies and gentlemen. At least I think so. Obviously, I'm patting myself on the back. That's the tiniest picture in the world. I need to find a better picture. Trolls smoke mids, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that we all know, but we've never verbalized enough. Trolls smoke fucking mids. Please remember that, ladies and germs. And of course, I have debated whether or not to release this one because I don't want fucking anyone to come yell at me like big bad lawyer people. But I'm pretty sure this is a parody. So, ladies and germs, I'm pretty sure this is fair use of a transformative fair use of content. So, I think I'll probably sell a grand total of 3 of these probably. But in the meantime, I'm gonna buy one because I think the design is fucking super cool. Do or do not steampunk is the t-shirt. Anyway, hopefully some more coming, ladies and gentlemen. As always, of course, quite a few more. We had some of these team safety meeting ones. Christoph and a few others pick up yours if you'd like to have your own team. That's cool. I can just basically put one together. What else? What is this one? Oh yeah, that's the Cherries hoodie. I need to organize this a little bit better. Cake and a Cup has been asking me to organize things. I have not had the time, I'm sorry to say, but I hope to do that soon because it is a little bit of a butt basically to come through here and just see like 47,000 t-shirts and you're looking for the one you want and you're like, where is it? I don't know. Yeah, there's a bunch of t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. There's me modeling in real life. Some of these are AI generated, I have to be honest with you, but some of them there are some real, well, no, this chick. By the way, this t-shirt right here, I should probably lower it on the page because it's a little bit tight for women. If you want a very boobericious t-shirt, then basically order that one. For yourself too. I mean, it doesn't have to just be a woman's t-shirt, obviously. But in the meantime, ladies and germs, don't be ashamed to go take a look at Troll Smoke Mids, Tyrannosaurus Rex, or This High with Pomodoro, or of course, Do or Do Not Steampunk with Pomodoro. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, go take a look at the rest of the site, of course, as well. I should probably update the Gate Queen Genetics. This is how long I've been backed up on this site. But anyway, ladies and germs, go take a look at, of course, veg and growing tips. If you guys would like some advice growing, how my system basically works, I'll give you a little bit of the kind of Cliff's Notes, I guess. Obviously, everything on the website is guaranteed. And of course, take a look at the genetic preservation kits that are on offer, ladies and germs. Some that I wholeheartedly recommend are, of course, Morgana. It's obviously the whole line Morganas. There's actually 4 versions publicly available now. That's not even counting some of the other versions that are sort of Morgana versions, like the Queen Anne's Revenge to Morgana that V had and stuff. Anyway, 4 official versions of Morgana so far. Go take a look. The V1 is just about sold out, honestly. There's really, honestly, maybe only a couple 3-packs left. And then V2, there's still quite a bit. V3, V4. V4 has actually quite a bit still. That's the one with the Coot Special Mail. What else? V3 is the Sour Morgana. That one is stunning. Actually, still a decent amount of those seeds. I think people are going to really enjoy those. People have been really kind of raving about those so far. So take a look at that. Picris, like I said, Picris 2 is coming. It's going to be tested here in the near future. So look out for Picris version 2 with a slightly different male. Completely different breeding, but a slightly different male in terms of effect. It's going to be, instead of Coot Special Male with that lemon cleaner, it's going to be a Jack the Ripper with basically a different version of lemon cleaner, a lot more skunk in it, stuff like that. So similar breeding, but very different. Very, very interesting. I think you guys are going to like it. In the meantime, gaffer tape, that's another easy recommendation. And of course, if you guys do want shorter flowering crops, don't snooze on Sour Morgana, Morgana V2, etc., etc. So take a look, my friends. Don't forget the coupon code BRAINS. D, are you still there? We need some pronunciation help on that one.
Brains.
Nice. There is no actual voice to text on the website, but just in case you're curious how it's pronounced, there you go. Now you know. 14% off all day, every day, ladies and germs, on Pomodoro.com, of course, chronictable.com as well. Hopefully in the near future, I'm going to be reorganizing things quite a bit. I really do hope to bring the in-person meetings back and stuff in the near future, but it has been a tremendously challenging, half a year or even a little bit more now. So hopefully things will get a little bit better. Hopefully things will get a little bit easier for me. I have to be honest, because it's challenging to deal with some of this stuff. But in the meantime, should have had that T-Rex eating a raptor. I can do that. That is possible to do. I need to write that down.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to tell you that off air.
T-Rex. There we go. Boom. Good idea. Nice to see you, by the way, Biscuits. Good to see you, buddy. And of course, everyone else in the chat. Green Puffin Man, Pip Jam, MBF, Dong Bot. Who else in here? Small Tubes in the house. What's going on, Small Tubes? Hardcore, of course, hanging. He's saying, do you have any XXXXL ladies' garments? Asking for Yo Mama, of course. Jones on 2 Grows in the house. St. Pete Runner. He's saying the raw owner or spokesperson looks like a jackass. That's what to argue with. Al Telescope Uranus is in here saying monster clouds. Gondula in the house. That dude would have took 20 for them. I don't know what the context for that was. Poly Smoke, or Poly Figs is saying Wizard Smoke. And to all the rest of you, Cry More Grows, and the rest of you, Chaz, Manium Devil, and others, ladies and germs. Cancel Noms, Bats, and Frogs. Thanks very much for hanging. D, is it a confirmed takeover this Saturday?
Oh, sí, señor.
Nice. Ladies and germs, bring tacos, burritos, and any other Mexican paraphernalia. Obviously, perhaps some salsa or hot sauce. Ladies and germs, we'll see you on Saturday. And until then, pop something wonderful. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. And